Hello all and welcome to Season 2, the opener here in Tier 2. You're joined by me, WHF Arrow and Ollie.
Bonjour.
And we're here in Bahrain for the opener of the season. And we're having... oh, thank you in the chat, Dubsy. Dubsy's resubscribed for 36 months.
That's 3 years.
3 years. Wow.
Fucking hell.
3-year anniversary for Dubsy. I need to figure out how to do a shout out. But here we go. Shout out Dubsy. We're shouting out
Three
Dub
years. Fucking hell.
for a 3-year sub. That is giving Zampa a lot of money. But anyway, we're gonna see who we can go on board
game
with.
volume. Oh fucking hell! I haven't even got my game volume turned up. Oh, good.
Have you also ticked the box? Yes.
Yes, I have. Fucking hell, you gave me a panic attack there.
But we're currently. Yeah.
There's no one's gone out on track yet. This is.
Yeah,
What's in the
everyone's just waiting for the rain to die down.
Everyone forgot how to press A and X since it's been so long. Oh, there we go. Who's our first mount? Who's the winner of the pit lane race? It's Cthulhu. A bloke.
In this Bahrain circuit. Who will be quickest in qualifying?
Cactus.
And
Spoiler alert.
yeah.
Oh!
So
Jesus, no,
Huh?
he was weaving with his DRS open and he almost lost it. He needed a grow job. I'm not even joking. Same exact place.
well, welcome all in the chat. Welcome back to WHF. Hope you are enjoying the show.
The first man to start lap will be Cthulhu, and then the Pneumatic, and then it'll be Tactics, who I'm putting the prediction for pole tonight.
But everyone in the chat, if you want to get your predictions in, who do you think is going to get pole and the win? I want to hear both predictions. Who do you think is going to get pole? Who would my pole prediction be? What I'm interested to see is how quick Charisma is returning
Yeah, I want to see what Charisma's like.
after a long layoff. But Charisma back in the Red Bull. I want to see his pace because Charisma used to give me some fierce fights throughout the years, so I'm very interested to see. But we're going to go on board with the Williams driver now as he does this lap of Bahrain.
We've got yellow. Oh.
And for this season we have 12 races, 12 rounds in both tiers. GB in the chat says let's do this. But how well can Cthulhu go in the Williams?
See if you can get the very tricky turn 9 with
Yep, a very tricky corner to get right. But Cthulhu...
Oh, never mind. Oh,
What's happened?
I went on board with Pneumatic, who'd already invalidated. He's not.
Cthulhu now around the final corner. Where can he put that? Williams, it'll be P1 obviously, but what lap time it'll be a 30.1. Next
Right,
across the line will be Tactics round the final corner. He does have a Mercedes following him very close though of Spared Fungus on an out lap. So Spared Fungus here may get a tow down the straight. And Callum down the main straight. Spared Fungus into turn 1 in the Mercedes. We've also got the third Callum of the only one with a Callum in the gamer tag in the McLaren goes P2 with the 29.7. We're going to go down on board now with Charisma, who, if he won, I won't be able to hide my excitement.
You are legally required to start at 90 firms.
Right. Okay. Anyway, Charisma crosses the line now. It's a 30.5. Dubsy says we're cutting in and out. Are we okay? I can't quite tell. Is that how we sound?
I don't know. No, that was just me being a dick. And Cthulhu's on another lap. Is he? Or is he on an in lap? No, he's got no breath left. He must be on an in lap.
We're gonna go follow the Mercedes of Spared Fungus. And where can the Mercedes go? Spared Fungus has been improving in pace recently, so keep an eye on him. As what lap time can he do? He up to P4 with a 29.8.
Oh, meanwhile,
while
we weren't watching, Dobo's actually gone P2. With 10th and a little bit behind.
Yeah.
Callum 1, 2 or 3. What do we call him? Callum 1 or 2 or 3.
And Wed thrown up to P5, just shy of Spared Fungus's laps. Spurring Jewel, his debut here in WHF, along with the Simon and Dynamic duo, the two AlphaTauri drivers. It is their official WHF debut, and let's see what they can do in the AlphaTauris.
The lone Ferrari of Sanson, who's on an outlap now, so interesting to see where he will slot into when he inevitably completes his. I've got Dubsy, who's still in the pits. Who will be the next new starter lap? It will be AlphaTauri. Is that an AlphaTauri?
And let's see what they can do. The AlphaTauris in the pre-season races looked both pretty quick, so interested to see where they can put their cars here in qualifying here.
They have a cycle times match up. Simon does a 28.8 and Dynamic Duo does a 29.1. So Simon is 3 cents ahead of his teammate in the first sector.
I think we should be able to get into the 28s here. We may have a pole lap in the 28s.
Simon loses the rear out of time 9 there.
But has kept it going. We'll still be able to get this lap completed. Wonder where will he go? P14 yet to set a lap, and the Simon now crosses the line, goes P4.
Good lap.
Good lap there. Dynamic duo just behind him by under a tenth. Next across the line will be GB. Definitely one of the contenders this season. Was very quick last season, but only attended around half of the races, so we'll see. Can GB add to his win column this season? GB all the way up to P3. Good lap for the Ferrari driver.
As we were saying, the car behind him, Tactics, who is currently P1, about to start his lap now.
And we'll go on board with Tactics. Currently it's set. The fastest lap so far will follow him along.
Got a little bit of traffic ahead of him actually, so hopefully everyone gets out the way there. First car to get out the way will be Dub Z. Pulls over to the side. Tactics has improved by 50 hundredths of a second, so he's getting faster. Oh, that
navigates
through turn 9, that was absolutely perfect.
Yep, navigates it very well.
He now rises up the hill into the flat out turn, whatever. I don't know the numbers. Almost 2/10 up. This could break him into the 28s. Let's see. One corner left.
Yep, one corner to get right now.
Clean.
And can he do it? Can he make it into the 28s? Let's see. Crosses the line now. It's a 28.8. Brilliant lap time there from Tactics. And has extended his gap over the rest of the field to half a second now. Meanwhile, we go on board with
popped into P3.
Yeah, the Williams driver all the way up. Tactics in the chat, very happy with that lap. Meanwhile, we're following Dobo along in the Alpine. Has a lot to improve here if he does want pole, but he can also help cement that P2 that he currently has as well, if he can just improve on this lap.
Yellow ahead. Who is that? It's Cthulhu, who is on the in-lap.
But Dobo now going to back out of his lap. I think it should be Pneumatic now around the final corner on lap. Half a second up, could get as high as Charisma at this stage. Let's see where Pneumatic can go. Does improve past Charisma. Charisma 2/10 down as he enters the end of
Callum
Sector 2.
Goes P2 with a 7/10 improvement.
Oh, Callum in the McLaren. But Charisma now round the final corner. And where can he put the Red Bull? Can he improve on his lap? Did improve by 3/10, does go up to P10. And let's see who else is on a lap. We've got Dubsy.
Inspiring Joel just improved by 9 seconds. What a goat.
Unable to improve on position though at this stage, but yeah.
Who will be the next one? So it's both McLarens out there.
Scotland
I believe
is 2 seconds down though. We do have, let's see, is Dobo on a lap? Don't believe so. Should be Dubsy in the Mercedes, I believe, will be the next. Dubsy, one of the SSR OGs, along with GB and Charisma. Unfortunately, COD, you are a tier 1 driver, so you can't can't race, unfortunately. Gotta make it fair for the rest of the drivers. But
Sparring Joel. Actually, no, not Sparring Joel. The Simon just started his lap now.
Sparring Joel is coming around on lap. 8/10 up on his lap. That could put him even higher than Dubsy if he keeps this improvement going. And could improve all the way up to P13.
He's out of ERS, though.
Godzilla says boo. Yeah, Scotland in the chat says miss you, COD. And he has a reason for Sparring Joel. A 10th, well, less than a 10th off Scotland. Had improved by 8/10 into Sector 3, but currently lost a lot of time there in the final sector. And Scotland, the reason why he says he misses COD is because him and Codzilla last time out in Season 1 were Constructor Champions with McLaren. So,
I'm just thinking actually, Scotland is the only one in this lobby right now who's actually a champion in this league so far.
Well,
Scotland's the greatest of all time.
with SSR.
Oh, it's the Simon improved by 1,000th.
And he's now 3 thousandths off GB. My stream quality is struggling. I'm going to turn the quality down here.
Who's as Callum 00, Callum 87, I'll call him, has now come out on the lap. Actually, no, he's not. He's come out on an out lap. Ahead of him is Charisma.
On board with Spared Fungus. We are in the Mercedes. As Dubsy's retired in the pits, Dubsy's called it a day for qualifying. Doesn't believe he's going to improve. Probably used all of his soft tyres at this stage. But now, where can the Mercedes go? And the field is getting ever closer.
Wait, no. Oh, I got confused there. Got Nakakaka to the line. Oh, he's giving his brother, Newtomatic, a brilliant tow. You love to see it. Brotherly love.
Yeah, good tow there. Meanwhile, Spared Fungus around the final corner.
Yellow.
Not sure if he's improving, he's just dived into the pits violently. Simon coming in as well. Spring Jules called it a day for qualifying as well.
Well, Taxix has got to come out soon. Or else he's not going to make it. Does he come out now? Oh, he's out now. Okay.
Yeah.
He's very late.
We're on the lap with his Wed thrown on a lap here. No, invalid. Cthulhu on a lap. We'll go down to Pneumatic. He's closer to finishing his lap at this stage.
He's a 10th down, though, so hopefully he can find some time there. But he's weaving on the straight. Maybe he's unhappy with what's happened in his lap so far. Ooh, that was a bit dodgy.
Go back up again to who's on a lap here? Should be GB on a lap for sure. Is Cthulhu coming around? Yeah, Cthulhu's probably next up.
Let's go, the emu.
Yep, could jump as high as Spared Fungus if he can keep that going.
Actually, I've just realised there's from P5 to P9. So I say that P9 just retired. It's all very close.
Yep. A second in between P1 and P9 at the moment. But Cthulhu,
you'll love to see it.
Cthulhu round the final corner. This will probably be his final lap. Does have enough time to go for another one. But does Cthulhu improve? Does not. Next across the line is Tactics starting a lap. We've got Charisma in the Red Bull coming up to the line. Can they improve in position? Jumps all the way to P7. Good lap time there from the Red Bull. Next across the line will be GB Sanderson, who's half a second up.
Oh, that's going to put him near the front.
Up to P2, almost inside the 28s there. Very good lap time.
Oh, as
Callum
invalidated. Oh.
Yeah, coming into the pits. Meanwhile, Scotland 6/10 up, could jump here. Let's see where Scotland can go in the McLaren. Unable to improve in position. We have the dynamic duo up to P5.
Bobo. He's a 10th up, so he doesn't look like he's going to improve position now, but he'll stay P4,
if
I
he
think.
nails the final two corners that he would have had to in Sector 3, potentially could finish P2 here, but needs a lot of time. Does improve, but not enough for position. And I believe that may be it for qualifying. Pneumatic crosses the line.
Got Tactics,
along
I think,
with Nakakaka.
still on his lap. Oh, he's invalid.
Tactics is also invalid.
That's it. We're done.
Yeah, that's us for qualifying. There's your front row at the moment. And Tactics is your pole sitter, as Ollie had predicted. Some call him Mystic Mac.
What?
Because you predict these things.
Oh, well.
No? Scotland says he messed up the last corner. The Simon says very bad quality. Well, you got P7, so I would take that. Certainly.
P7 on debut. That's nothing to be ashamed about.
Yeah, decent
Anything can
debut,
happen as
but
well.
Tactics on pole, the only driver in the 28s here in Tier 2. But a very tight field, as you mentioned there, Ollie.
Yeah, I mean, there you go, from P7 down to P10. It's within a tenth and a bit. So hopefully we have some good racing. Love to see.
And Nudomatic into the Tier 2 chat says, holy shit, I'm not last, and he's now P11. So you're
he's beating his brother.
Yeah, that's all it's about, really.
Yeah. I was going to say so in there, but I don't think I should.
What?
All it's about in life is beating your brother. But I kind of thought that doesn't sound very good.
Yeah. Don't mention that in court, please. Anyway, we now have.
So fine. Hopefully no one readies off early.
Yeah, hopefully. Otherwise, I may have to restart the stream because I forgot to take a picture of qualifying.
I did.
So
don't
hopefully. All right, good.
Right.
But the driver should be readying up at 9:26. So 3 minutes before we go. Get your predictions in the chat. Who do you think will win? Tactics currently on pole, followed by GB, multiple race winner last season.
You know what? I'm going to make the prediction of a GB Sanderson win. I'm going to say Tactics P2, and I'm going to throw in Dobo in P3.
Interesting.
I mean, I predicted Tactics pole, so I have to be.
I just want
right.
no carnage, please.
Red flag after one corner.
I don't even have them set on.
Yeah,
so
but still.
That would be impressive. That'd be impressive. If someone does straight line everyone, I think we'd have to do our own red flag.
Let's just restart in the lobby. It's a red flag.
Yeah. Yeah. Nudomatic says hashtag Nuto on podium. Mallard says he thinks he's going to win. Sure. But anyway, we currently have 777 followers. That's a lovely number to look at. I love the number 7. But we now have 2 minutes before we go. All the drivers just picking their strategies. What kind of strategy do you think would work in Bahrain, Ollie? Ollie, have you disappeared? I think Ollie's disappeared. Well, I was gonna say hard medium hard. Ollie is gone, unfortunately. He'll be in our thoughts and prayers. But anyway. It'll probably be a hard medium or a medium hard. I wouldn't touch the softs here. Really high deg. So tough to pull off if you're on the softs. But hey, you never know. People prove me wrong every now and again. But drivers are about to ready up soon. It's about to hit 9:26 as it has.
Thankfully, everyone has behaved. I mean, after
Yes.
one season, hopefully most of them should realise. So, but yes, looks like it's all dry. Thankfully.
I would hate to see rain in Bahrain. That would be chaotic.
Yeah. Fun to watch that.
But you can hear the chiming before we get the 5 red lights on. The 5 red lights are on. Who will get away well here in Bahrain, round 1 of the Tier 2 Championship? The 5 red lights are out, and there's a safety car.
Oh no.
I guess it. I think it. I don't know. I guess
we
it
had this
doesn't matter.
last time in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, we had this in Abu Dhabi last season.
Oh,
Everyone
seriously?
maintain position. Maintain position if you're listening. Jesus Christ! Everyone's gone mediums apart from Dubsy. Dubsy's gone hards. But unfortunately, a lap 1 safety car, because this game. Yeah, we're carrying on GB, because if we restart, there could be just another safety car. So, what difference would it make? But yeah.
God's sake. That is, well, hopefully it only stays out for a lap. So.
Yeah, we had the Tier 2 finale have a safety car in lap 1, and we now have the Tier 2 opener this season.
I just thought
having the safety car in lap 1.
You said about having there being lap 1 carnage. I think the safety cars just came out to make sure there was no lap 1 carnage. Like, alright.
The safety cars, they're now doing a rolling start to prevent. Well, Mallard in the chat says, I think the safety car is going to win the race, and to be fair, the safety car is leading.
Hang on a second, I just saw Dobo hit Callum.
Hopefully, no one has damage.
Dobo is. Callum. Happening there?
There's a couple of swaps for position. I think people are missing their braking points and accidentally sending it on people.
Hopefully it should be in since everyone's bunched up. Has Callum's gone past Dobo again? I think there's been some confusion right there.
I think either Dobo or Callum were in the wrong place and they had a swap, or currently they're still in the wrong place. But Dobo accidentally overtook.
Started P3, so.
Okay, so I think what's happened is Dobo accidentally overtook and then can't let Callum back through again because he is trying to. But
oh well, that's unfortunate.
There is a way, Dobo, if you're listening, and the way to let him through is kind of risky because you have to go off track, which then the game registers that he can be let through.
But then he'll probably get like a fucking 10-second time penalty or something.
But then you could get a warning or a penalty.
Might as well just hold. I mean,
or if you hold back, Dobo far enough, it'll tell Callum behind to pass you, as well.
I think.
But Callum, I would not overtake too quickly because then it's just going to tell you to let Dobo back through again.
Yeah, there it goes. Just let him back through. Yeah.
Callum has to wait until Dubbo's like far enough back before he can actually overtake. But anyway, it's annoying we have to actually put up with this because the game is just so beautifully coded. It just works so well.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
You know
it's just like, yeah.
But we did have Charisma and Zampa in the Abu Dhabi finale make their debuts in WHF.
Oh, as we've got Wet Throw and Bad Fungus changing positions too. Out the back.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there.
Everyone's struggling to use their brakes, apparently. But yeah, we did have Charisma and Zampa make their WHF debuts last time out in Abu Dhabi finale, and they will be back with us this season. Charisma in the Red Bull as Dobo almost overtook GB. There's a bit of carnage.
Oh, this is just absolutely great racing. There's so many position swaps. Incredible. Oh, well, my prediction is currently right. Tactics, Sands, and Bobo. I'm gonna have a cookie now.
Finally, the safety car is in this lap where we've basically just chopped.
So basically, now
two racing laps, but here is your 5 red lights essentially. Chat out of the final corner. And tactics will lead us away on a rolling start. The rain was too bad before this session or something. I don't know. The track was too dusty. There was a sandstorm, which was the reason why the safety car had to be brought out. But Tactics now going to try and warm those mediums. Only Dub Z on the hard tyres here. Everyone else on the medium tyres. As Tactics is now going to try and push out of the final corner. He's got GB for company in behind.
Oh, GB gets the run of the century.
Yeah, GB gets a lovely run in the Ferrari, and GB takes the lead of the race here on lap 1. Callum getting back past Dobo. I wonder was Dobo letting him back through there as GB into turn 1, skating through the corner. Couple moves back here as Cthulhu and the Simon battling for position here down in P7. We also have in the background Spared Fungus getting ahead of Wed Throne. There's going to be a Haas sending it on the inside of Wed Throne. Pneumatic unable to get through. Meanwhile Cthulhu still side by side. Little side pod touch, and they're going round. Both of them going round. The AlphaTauri and the Williams, both of them going round. And I believe the Simon reset the track there. And unfortunately that's going to be a big pain. But as we move on,
so much there. That's so bad, unfortunate.
Yeah. Side by side, both at awkward angles as Tactics now on the inside of GB. Having a little look down the inside of the Ferrari. Meanwhile, Dub Z getting ahead of Pneumatic. Side by side they go. Pneumatic round the outside, finds the grip to keep that P10. And just a reminder to everyone, all the drivers who are listening, and also for the stream, everyone racing at the moment will score points. Tactics dives it up the inside. GB will get the run down the straight though, which may allow Callum and the McLaren back through as well if Callum wants to push. But GB now on the inside of Tactics, still side by side they go. And side by side into turn 1 go the Ferrari and the Aston. Both leaving each other the room. Callum 87 looking to find a way through as Tactics has a little wiggle. Callum 87 on the inside of GB. Callum
double
in the McLaren sends it through. Side by side they go. And Callum's he's had a half spin, somehow caught it together. And what a lovely save from the McLaren. I don't know how he saved himself there. I think that's out for Spearing Jewel. Unfortunately, a rough day for the Williams. All the drivers here today will score points. We do points down to 16.
Is DRS enabled?
So, not yet. It'll be enabled lap 5, I believe, because of the safety car.
I think so.
But Callum almost had an amazing double send into the lead, but unfortunately had that little half spin, but caught it beautifully and only lost down to P3 where he was before the lap anyway. So didn't lose too much, did the McLaren driver. Meanwhile, Charisma and the Red Bull outside the DRS of Dynamic Duo at this stage.
5 car fight for the win. Lovely. Yeah.
Charisma may come under pressure from Spared Fungus behind. Meanwhile, Dynamic Duo also in this battle as DRS has been enabled. GB now make it through. Meanwhile, Dobo and Callum go side by side here. Dobo on the inside. Can he make it through? Callum outbreaks the Alpine. And Callum's gone off. Callum's gone off.
That's unfortunate.
Callum had a moment last lap, or last lap, and then has had an even bigger moment. Meanwhile, Dynamic Duo into the podium places, gets ahead of Dobo. Dynamic Duo into P3 in a bid for a debut podium here in WHF.
It's a P5. Always Julius left.
Spearing Julius left. Can you invite him?
I will try, yes.
Oh, GB has a big lock-up heading in to turn 10 there. But Dynamic Duo now outside the DRS, so this could be a two-way fight between GB and Tactics if they can scarper off and escape the AlphaTauri of Dynamic Duo. But Dynamic Duo is bringing that delta down.
As Charisma is now inside the DRS of our front guys.
Charisma now in P5 has the DRS. Lovely performance on his final return to full-time driving with us. Currently P5 as it stands. Callum unfortunately lost out there, had a half spin the lap before then. Lost it. Meanwhile, as you've mentioned, GB into the lead. We're going to go back down again to the McLaren of Callum, but I don't believe he's close enough to Naka Kraka for a move.
Making it up the inside of Nuto. The inside is turn 1.
Still side by side they go.
Ooh.
And GB and Tactics still battling here. Side by side they are through the middle sector. GB concedes the place. Knows it's risky to battle through there. And we've seen that from the Williams of Cthulhu and the AlphaTauri of the Simon. Or is it Salmon?
Oh,
I do remember someone said something about that is actually the Salmon. I think it was the Salmon.
Maybe it is the Salmon.
I just realised. I think
yeah,
it
there's
is
an
the
I
Salmon.
in there though. So it's like Simon.
Yeah, but it's meant to be 4 is supposed to be an A, and then the A is supposed to be an L.
Oh.
So it is the Salmon. You could think he could spell it instead of adding a number, but
The fish! Down at P11.
yeah, we'll just call him the fish. Anyway, GB follows along. Tactics now here as we head on to lap 7. Dynamic Duo trying to get within DRS. It's marginal. He is under the 1 second, but does he have the DRS enabled here? Don't think he has it open.
No, he
Does not. Meanwhile, GB back into the lead here. Tactics and GB just trading for positions here at the moment. And we currently have a train between our top 6, all fighting for the lead. Meanwhile, Callum on the inside of Naka Kraka. Naka Kraka breaks later, but Callum gets the run on the inside. Meanwhile, Dub Z on the Simon as well. Dub Z gets through in the Mercedes. Or the Salmon. I just read it and then say what I read. Anyway, Naka Kraka on the back of Callum as well. Can Callum recover
very wide.
what was lost? Meanwhile, Tactics still following along GB. Tactics almost on the inside now. Got a much better run through turn 10.
GB's.
And now on the back of GB. And they are stretching a gap here to Dynamic Duo. Dynamic Duo have been pushing to try and get back within the second. But they just seem to have a little more pace than the AlphaTauri behind.
Very much benefiting each other here. They are pulling themselves away from Dynamic Duo, so it's make it very hard for him to even try and catch up. So maybe he has to work with Dobo and maybe try and catch up.
Meanwhile, if we move down, we've got the fish on the back of Dubsy, and Dubsy cheekily breaks before the DRS. A bit of DRS checking here.
Dobo's going to go for
the Mercedes.
Duo.
Move back up again to the front. The Alpine on Dynamic Duo as the leaders swap for positions again as well. But Dobo in
looking
to P3.
Emu's on the hunt.
Looking.
Going to go back up the inside.
Sends it in. The AlphaTauri has contact with the Alpine, but I don't think anything too severe at this stage. Meanwhile, Naka Kraka on the back of Callum as Callum continues to catch. Wade's thrown again, trying to recover from that spin that he had earlier. Meanwhile, Charisma getting ever closer to the rear of Dobo and Dynamic Duo. And I'm interested to see Dynamic Duo now. Oh no! Dynamic Duo has been spun round. Unfortunate for Dynamic Duo there, but had a spin. Just approached the corner at a very awkward angle there.
Yeah,
I honestly think he kind of caused that himself. Dobo left him a lot of room on the inside, but now, importantly, Dobo 2.6 behind the leaders. As Charisma now gonna look
good for a double overtake here.
For his first podium with WHF. Meanwhile, Spared Fungus, as you mentioned, also gonna look on the outside of Dobo as well here. Can the Mercedes outbreak the Alpine? Side by side they go.
Very deep into turn 1.
And Spared Fungus make it through Charisma again here as well, as Charisma goes ultimately as defensive as you can go to the inside. Will hold the inside as well. Spared Fungus trying to skid it around the outside in the Mercedes. The Red Bull has a little wobble.
He's got him.
Has to let the Mercedes back through. Spared Fungus goes off track. Charisma almost into the back of the Mercedes as he was rejoining. Meanwhile, Tactics going for the Alonso send at turn 10. It's a beautiful move. We caught the end of it, but a beautiful move there from Tactics into the lead yet again. And these two are putting on display. Tactics and GB, lovely driving here. Meanwhile, the Simon going to get past Nakacraka into turn 11. Nakacraka right on the rear of the AlphaTauri. Dub Z waiting in the wings, watching this battle along as well, as Scotland picks up a time penalty, which is not going to help the constructor champion from last season. Meanwhile, Charisma following along. Spared Fungus here.
Move. Like he's going to.
Yeah, GB now round the outside, looking to send it on Tactics. Will he get through?
Still
side
there.
by side they go. And lovely battling here. Tactics on
Tactics
the
has the
inside here.
DRS.
Must have just got the detection point. Meanwhile, Charisma, I believe, did get through Spared Fungus. Spared Fungus unable to get back through. Dub Z picks up a time penalty, which is not going to help him. Meanwhile, Nakacraka on the Simon. Sends it on the inside. Does the Haas driver. But the Simon going to keep it back through. Meanwhile, Dub Z on the back of Nakacraka. Can Dub Z find a way through this train? Wed Throne still following along Dynamic Do. They both had a strong start, but ultimately had little incidents that have dropped them a little bit back from the pack. Meanwhile, Charisma stretching a gap a little bit here to Spared Fungus. Meanwhile, GB seems to be struggling, trying to stay with Tactics. Tactics is almost escaped DRS here, but GB still has the DRS. Meanwhile, Charisma's actually closing to the leaders here. Charisma's got good pace out front. Meanwhile, Dynamic Duo, the first driver to box onto the hard tyres, picks up a 5-second speeding in the pit lane penalty, which I'm sure will not help his rate. Meanwhile, Nakacraka gets into P7, gets ahead of the Salmon. So good move there. Callum in the Mercedes, going to look to recover from what was lost. I think Callum's actually lost more than he had earlier. Did he have another mistake?
Like I don't think so.
Maybe that's
he's already
just
far
me,
down,
but the
yeah.
Salmon gets back ahead of Nakacraka in this battle for 7th at this stage. And Nakacraka doesn't think of any risky sends. Meanwhile, if we look up at the lead, very important here, Tactics a second out from GB. GB needs the close to catch the Aston Martin driver. Meanwhile, Spared Fungus on the rear of Charisma. Very close battle for the podium here. They've dropped back from the leaders. The gap was 3 seconds. It's now 4.3. Spared Fungus heads off the road, going wide with the wake of the car ahead. And Tactics has now got the gap that he needs. He is outside the DRS of GB. Meanwhile, we go down to the battle for the podium. Spared Fungus and Dobo, both with the DRS behind the Red Bull of Charisma. And Charisma goes defensive. Spared Fungus now round the outside. Lovely defensive driving from Charisma. And we're almost 3 wide here, trying to find a way through. And round the outside goes Spared Fungus. Can he get the grip around the outside, or will Charisma send it through? Charisma, side by side they go. Little wobble from Spared Fungus. Charisma going to leave the room and allow the Mercedes driver through. Good respectable racing here as Dobo now on the back of Charisma. Spared Fungus goes off again. I wonder, Charisma goes very deep, which may allow Dobo through here with the up and under. But these drivers battling for the podium is just helping Tactics and GB get away and extend their lead over the rest of the field. We could have P1 and 2 wrapped up at this stage, but there still could be late safety cars. Yeah, could be late safety cars that could add drama. Meanwhile, Callum on the back of Wed Throne. Callum now round the outside of turn 10. Going to allow Wed Throne through here to ensure that he gets the DRS on the Alfa Romeo. Callum now on the inside of Wed Throne has the DRS. Will get through in the McLaren, looking to recover what was lost, but Wed Throne round the outside here. Sends around the outside. Lovely move to defend. Spared Fungus, our next driver, into the box. 4 hard tyres.
Gonna try and undercut. Charisma and Dobo
trying to get out of that fight. Gonna try to undercut the drivers battling for a podium, and if Charisma and Dobo continue to fight, that could allow Spared Fungus's strategy of the undercut to work here. Meanwhile, Dobo following along Charisma.
Gap now 2 seconds up the front. I think Tactics finally stretched his legs, showing the pace that he has. Now
stretching the gap to GB. And Tactics could be in for his first win with WHF. Excuse me. And Tactics was very quick last season, but he has unlocked a new level of pace, it seems, this season. As Dobo now still following along Charisma. I wonder, will anyone else pit this lap as to cover off from the Mercedes of Spared Fungus, who has exited P7. Now we're gonna keep an eye on the tyres now of everyone. Spared Fungus on fresh hards. Dynamic Duo and Callum.
I see if Charisma and Dobo pit to respond to Spared Fungus.
Now GB in. Yep, Charisma in along with GB. GB in to try and undercut Tactics if he can. Although Tactics had built a 3-second gap. But can he recover that in the pit stops here? Meanwhile, Simon also in for hard tyres. Where's GB going to exit here?
Spared Fungus compared to Charisma. He's ahead.
Yeah, Spared Fungus now well ahead, and so is Dynamic Duo. Dynamic Duo also with the undercut, but has 3-lap older hards. But Dynamic Duo now with a lovely undercut back into P6 here. And the Simon going to exit behind Naka Kraka, but ahead of Pneumatic in the other Haas. So the majority of the drivers have done the pit stops now. And GB going to look to use these fresh hards to try and catch Tactics, who's yet to pit. Can Tactics stave off the undercut from GB? GB does not have DRS from Dubsy behind. Meanwhile, Wed Throne and Charisma, and a big send from Wed Throne to get through on Charisma. And it seems Charisma's lost out here, because I believe Charisma has had an error, as he was behind Dynamic Duo and now he's behind Callum and Wed Throne. So Charisma may have had a little mistake. Meanwhile, GB on the inside of Dubsy now. And Tactics and Dobo come in.
The final corner now.
Yeah, had to clear the Mercedes of Dubsy. Now down the main straight they go. Where will Tactics exit? You can see the Ferrari in the background. Tactics now exiting the pits. Will GB be close enough? He is not close enough, but has he closed the delta at all? Not particularly. He's closed it by a second, but Tactics now has the fresher tyres to escape off into the distance. GB would have ultimately liked to have been inside the DRS, but unfortunately it's not.
Callum!
Meanwhile, Callum
Oh,
and
Wed
Wed Throne have
Got a
both gone
VSC.
off, and there's a VSC out as Callum and Wed Throne, big contact through turn 3. Big contact between Callum and Wed Throne there. And massive damage for both drivers, both missing a front wing. Neither yet to retire, but I'm sure they're both unhappy. As Mallard has said, still has his front wing. Just the camera angle I was seeing, it looked like it was not. It blended in. Meanwhile, Charisma now has gained what he had lost, got back through on Callum and Wed Throne as they had come together. So Charisma back ahead of them two, but importantly, Dobo now is out on fresher tyres ahead of Charisma, but they're now 6 seconds off Dynamic Duo. And it's a funny thought to think if anyone had went a lap later on their pit stops, this VSC would have helped them massively. And it should help Dub Z massively, who will surely exit onto fresh mediums now. Dub Z, the only driver doing the reverse strategy, will benefit here from the VSC.
I believe it's ending now, actually.
And Tactics! And GB as well! GB and Cthulhu! But both leaders get a drive-through. Callum gets a 5-second speed in the pit lane penalty.
So that means Spared Fungus is our race leader.
Spared Fungus in the Mercedes has found his way into the lead here.
Wow.
Unbelievably, both leaders. Unbelievable.
Oh, that's
both
going to be
leaders.
That's going to be gut-wrenching, GB.
Gut-wrenching for both drivers as GB now may be potentially back within the DRS of Tactics. I don't believe it's open, but gut-wrenching for both Tactics and GB. I'm sure they're both furious. Does Dynamic Duo have one?
Yes,
He's a 5-second.
Oh wait, maybe. Oh no, never mind. So it's just those two leaders.
Cthulhu has one, so Cthulhu gonna lose out here as well. But
all
the pit stops are done. He does. Oh, he served it.
Oh,
he served it.
That's quick.
He got the drive-through and served it immediately. But Dub Z now on fresh mediums had the benefit of the VSC to gain some time here, and we'll have quick mediums coming through the pack.
Both in. Now,
yeah, both leaders in.
The race is on, lads.
And there's now 9 tenths between them, but it was going to look pretty comfortably. I think I may have jinxed them because I did say they could be on for 1-2, and now they've both got drive-throughs. But now, Spared Fungus.
P5 and P6. Actually, they're going to lose out to Naka Cracker too. Oh,
could
wait,
be
on ahead of GB.
GB on the inside as there's a side-by-side between the Salmon and contact between Wed Throne as well. The Salmon on the inside of Naka Cracker's GB now trying to push to overtake Tactics now, but everyone now has completed their pit stops. Meanwhile, Naka Cracker on the rear of the Salmon. Everyone now on the hard tyres except for Dub Z P11. Can Dub Z use those mediums to start to catch this pack ahead of Pneumatic?
Right, so the
Meanwhile,
gap
GB
from
trying to give it everything to catch Tactics, but Tactics could still win here, chat. He isn't extremely far off the lead. He is 12 seconds back, and he's got 12 laps to do it. Can he catch a second per lap? He needs a lot of pace in the tank here. Does he have it? Does GB have it as well? As my controller has completely died. Let's switch to this one. The Salmon now trying to get within the DRS of GB as Wed Throne picks up his first time penalty, trying to stay with Naka Cracker in P8.
As Dobo sits the fastest lap of the race on the hards.
And Wed Throne going to follow Naka Cracker down the straight here. Right,
the thing I've got to say now is that Tactics, I believe he's got the pace to catch Spared Fungus, but it's the trouble of the cars ahead of him. Charisma, Dobo, like those guys are still very quick. So I think they're gonna give him quite a big fight. And I'd love to see what GB can do if he can maybe capitalize on the battles.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'd love to see a Spared Fungus win. That'd be fantastic.
I would love to. I don't think there's anyone here I wouldn't love to see win at the moment. Last season it was Ritzy and then more Ritzy.
Yeah.
Zampa says, sorry couldn't be there, thank you for the bit, and he says go Emu. He's rooting for Emu Charisma, who's P4 at the moment, so you never know. Meanwhile, he has been caught a second up by Tactics at this stage.
Tactics has actually gained 2 seconds so far on Spared Fungus in 1 lap. Or a lap and a half.
Oh wow, that is pace. Meanwhile, Dubsy on the outside of Nudomatic now has 5 seconds to get caught up to the train ahead.
What's the situation on tyres right now? Tactics is on 3 lap odds. But actually, Dobo is the only one on the equal tyres with Tactics here. That may, as he says, fastest lap of the race to boot.
Meanwhile, Dubsy going defensive from Nudomatic as Nudomatic trying to get back past on these hard tyres. We also have Wade Throne trying to find a move here on Nakacrack as well here for P8, but Nakacrack doesn't have any penalties, so doesn't necessarily need to fight this too hard, but they're racers, so you will see them battling. And Wade Throne now round the outside, did have the DRS, but doesn't get the traction out of the corner, which allows Nakacrack back through again. But the gaps are starting to form now between everyone. 2 seconds between each driver from P4 down to P8. As Tactics is now 1.9 behind Charisma. Imagine Tactics got a drive through and still managed to pull out a win. That would be very impressive.
Very. But it is very doable at this stage. The rate he is now catching.
10 laps to go. Tactics among the leaders has the quickest tyres along with Dobo. Important to note, Dobo has the same life as Tactics, so Dobo could be on for a win here as well, as he's now within the DRS of Dynamic Duo. As on lap 20 they head down the main straight. But get your predictions in the chat. Who do you think will win? Will it be Spared Fungus, Dynamic Duo, Dobo, Charisma, Tactics? Who will it be? A very exciting opener for the Tier 2 drivers here. As there's a yellow flag out, and it seems Wade Throne and Nakacrack have had it coming together. Wade Throne, unfortunately, in the wars this race, it seems. And Dubsy now on these medium tyres within the DRS of Wade Throne as a result, with the contact between Nakacrack and Wade Throne, if there was contact. Meanwhile, move back up again to the front as Dobo now on the inside of Dynamic Duo has the DRS. Gonna clear the Alpha Tari driver. He's now got 4.3 gap to Spared Fungus. Can Dobo pull it off? I've just realised everyone in the lobby is on Xbox, so we can absolutely do interviews as well.
Oh yeah. About time. Actually, as Tactics is now within the DRS of the Emu who is flashing.
Yep. And by the way, for everyone in the chat, we do not discriminate. We have many cross-play players. This is just happened to be a coincidence. This is a coincidence, I promise. But I'm sure Charisma will not give him an easy fight. Charisma at the moment has a net P3, has that podium position, as Dynamic Duo has that penalty.
Passed him, I didn't even notice.
Dobo passed Dynamic Duo, and what penalties? Dynamic Duo has a 5-second, so
that's going to hurt him.
He'll drop back behind Tactics and Charisma, but will Charisma be able to fend off from Tactics here, or will Tactics be able to find a way through?
It's quick.
The Red Bull driver may
Ooh.
send it to the inside, has a little look on the inside. Charisma leaves the space. Can he get the traction round the outside here?
Not around the outside here.
In turn 10, goes
Oh,
round
he's
the
gonna go
outside.
for
We're
it.
not getting any good camera angles.
Oh, there's contact.
Charisma gets the inside. Tactics, is he going to have the DRS?
None of them have
Still
DRS.
struggling for camera angles here.
He
And
gets
neither
through.
driver seemed to have the DRS there. But Tactics does get through. But he can see that rear light flashing. Can the Red Bull driver? He sees the rear light flashing of the Aston Martin, which may open up the door again as Tactics goes wide.
Oh, that's got to be a warning.
Clunks over the inside curve. Surely a warning. As Charisma now
Charisma might come back at him here.
back
This is not what he
through.
needs.
Meanwhile, contact between Wed Throne and Dub Z as well. Wed Throne clunks the inside curb.
Oh, Charisma's going
And
to get him
Dub
here.
Z may get back through. Meanwhile, Charisma with the DRS. Gonna shoot
Speed's
to the
past.
inside. And, yep, speed's past. Meanwhile, Dub Z now on the back of Wed Throne. Dub Z now going for P9 here. As there's more contact between Wed Throne and Dub Z. As Tactics back through again with the DRS into P4. But this battling, as mentioned before, has lost Tactics time to try and catch the leaders and win
He's
here.
also used nearly all of his ERS. He's got
we've
nothing
seen
to
the-
play with. So he's got to use all his
we've
pace. Uh-oh.
Yeah, we've seen the light flash in there. But Charisma still has the DRS, but
He's being a
Tactics is
thorn in
using
his
the
side
pace.
right now.
Yeah, Tactics is catching Dynamic Duo now, and Charisma wants this podium, so is not going to give Tactics an easy fight. But it is sure, I must say, chat, it is lovely to see Charisma back racing.
And fighting with the net leaders. Lovely.
Yep.
I think he's going to get him here as well. The DRS. Can Charisma get him?
Has the DRS now. Tactics no defensive. Charisma
he's
going
getting-
to choose the outside, but switches to the
Good
inside.
move.
Very late, lovely move from Charisma. Can
but he goes
Tactics get
deep.
the switchback? He does go deep. Tactics gets the switchback, a lovely switchback. And Tactics may even have the DRS here, and he does. That may allow Tactics the opportunity to escape from Charisma here. With Charisma going deep into turn 1, Tactics now has 5 tenths to catch to Dynamic Duo.
Actually, Dobo is actually catching Spared Fungus, I believe, so we might have a battle for the lead.
Yeah. Dobo has fresher tyres than Spared Fungus. I'll get the tyre graphic up again for the viewers yet again. Dobo has 2 laps fresher tyres along with
that'll benefit him.
Tactics than Spared Fungus. Dynamic Duo has 4 lap older tyres than Dobo and Tactics here.
Charisma is
And
still
now-
behind. He's not letting
Yeah.
him go.
Tactics now has the DRS of Dynamic Duo, and this is going to help his race massively because it should help him prevent Charisma getting back through here, who has absolutely been a thorn in his side.
I tell you what, GB P6, he's currently how far behind? A little bit. I can't be asked working it out. But he has got to be keeping his fingers crossed that these guys keep battling so he can catch up and possibly try and overtake them. Because he's currently outside the DRS and he's going to be losing time with them all having the DRS. Is there going to be a move?
Yep,
No, there isn't.
the race is not over just yet, but Tactics now on the rear of Dynamic Duo. This may be what he needs, but he's losing the rear, trying to get the traction, but may have it here now round the outside of Dynamic Duo. Can the Aston Martin driver send it round the outside?
Oh,
Just
lovely
gets a
move.
lovely run, but can Dynamic Duo defend? He can't, and that is going to allow Tactics now into the podium positions. P3 he goes. Does he have enough time to catch the leaders? Charisma almost goes into the rear of the AlphaTauri of Dynamic Duo. As Tactics now
He wants
on
this win.
the back Dobo Luxury in the chat says, Zampa, get your ass in here and win. I think Zampa's at work, Luxury, so unfortunately couldn't make it. But Luxury also says, what a move. And what a move it was from Tactics. As we follow Charisma along here in the Red Bull, who is watching the AlphaTauri, but importantly GB now 1.5 behind Charisma, so he could join this train. The podium could still be on for GB at this stage. Meanwhile, Dynamic Duo still has DRS from Tactics. Tactics now 1.8.
He has a lot more ERS to play with as well.
1.7 to Dobo, and Dobo continues to catch Spirit Fungus, but it's not at the quick rate we expected earlier. Meanwhile, Dynamic Duo now on the inside of Tactics. Gonna send it on the inside. Does Tactics look for the switchback? He tries to send it round the outside. He is the inside of the next corner. Side by side they go. Little bit of a wheel bang,
so close.
but they're okay. Tactics gets back through again with the DRS. Hasn't lost too much time by battling. Meanwhile, Charisma outside the DRS now, as Scotland picks up a 5-second corner for corner cutting. That's rare to get. And Charisma picks up he gets a time penalty. That could be his podium hopes shattered, as he now has GB in the Ferrari for company. GB could still slingshot from Charisma onto the back of Dynamic Duo, and the podium could still be on for the Ferrari driver who had multiple wins last season, as Scotland now comes in potentially for softs for the fastest lap here. The fastest lap point does not matter where you finish, so there still could be fastest lap for Scotland here, as GB continues to follow Charisma along. He's still within the DRS at the moment, but will he have the DRS this lap? Meanwhile, Tactics, importantly, 1.1 to Dobo. Tactics could still win this. Despite his drive-through, he's escaped Dynamic Duo, and Dobo surely wants to plant the throttle here and use all the pace that's left to try and catch Spirit Fungus.
I think he's got the win behind to in front now.
Yeah, the win is still on for Dobo. The win's still on for Tactics and Spirit Fungus. Which of the three will it be on the fourth last lap? At the moment here, GB now on the rear of Charisma. Gonna try and send it round the outside of the Red Bull driver. Ferrari versus Red Bull.
Oh!
God, they keep it clean. Charisma and GB. This is a battle we've seen throughout the ages. GB now round the outside. Good move. Contact. Little bit of contact between Charisma and GB, but GB gets through into P5. Lovely move from the Ferrari driver. Meanwhile, Tactics now is in the DRS of Dobo. Dobo, though, is 1.5 to Spirit Fungus. He really needs to push now before Tactics gets him. Otherwise, it could be Tactics' race to win. But Tactics, who had the drive-through, could find a way into the lead here. Can Dobo use what he has to try and get up to Spirit Fungus? Spirit Fungus will head on to lap 27, leading the race. But Tactics now will have the DRS. Will he have enough in the tank to catch Dobo?
Oh, he's surely going to have him here with the DRS.
Yeah, DRS engaged, only 3/10 behind. And you can see the rear light flashing on Dobo. Dobo has to give it everything. But is it enough? Dobo round the outside, side by side they go. Tactics, can he get the traction around the outside? Still side by side, Tactics gets through. But Dobo has the DRS. Dobo may be able to send it here. Well, neither driver opened the rear wing. Meanwhile, GB and Charisma swapping positions yet again. Oh, and Charisma into the back of GB. Contact between the two. Thankfully, both of them I don't think have damage. Meanwhile, Dobo still following along Tactics. Tactics has 1.4 to get. As we've still 2.5 laps to go here. Absolute chaos here we've had here in this season opener here in Tier 2. Tactics, lovely traction in a turn 10. Has caught up 4/10 down the straight.
Well, he has the better tyres.
Yeah, Absolute Mega Pace has better tyres than Spirit Fungus. Can Spirit Fungus hold on? Scotland picks up the fastest lap, which will give McLaren that extra point. Meanwhile, Dobo trying to hold on to Tactics. Tactics trying to catch Spirit Fungus, who heads on to the penultimate lap here in the lead of the race. But Tactics can see the rear light flashing on that Mercedes in the distance. Will he be able to catch here? Lap 28 of 29. Who will win here? Dobo still on the back of Tactics. Tactics yet to get the DRS. Can Dobo add an extra bit of drama to this with the DRS? Could he get back through again on Tactics?
Spirit Fungus needs to hope that Dobo comes back for an attack, or else Spirit Fungus is looking very vulnerable. As he's now within the DRS.
Now within the DRS, but Spirit Fungus has a lap and a half here to defend the lead. Will it be Tactics' first win?
I can't call this. Who's gonna be?
Will it be Spirit Fungus's first win? Will it be Dobo's first win?
Yeah, it's gonna be a first win for anyone. Oh.
Yeah, very close to call here.
Been, though.
As Tactics now with the DRS,
catching. Dobo also has the DRS.
Yep, Tactics is catching Spirit Fungus. Into Sector 3 we go. Tactics is looking closer and closer to Spirit Fungus now. Tactics seeing the rear light flash on that Mercedes as he's trying to escape. But does he have enough in the tank? The rear light continues to flash on the Mercedes as round the final corner we go. Tactics follows along the Mercedes down the straight, and as we head on to the final lap, the Aston Martin may get into the lead here. Had a drive through.
Oh, he's going to go defensive.
With a VSE, Spirit Fungus goes defensive. Tactics on the outside, side by side they go.
Great
Spirit
defense.
Fungus with a lovely defense. Dobo watching this. Dobo clunks the curb. Spirit Fungus has another straight to do it here. Can Spirit Fungus defend? Will Tactics send it into the corner?
Send it.
He does send it. Spirit Fungus contact. Big contact between Tactics and Spirit Fungus. Dobo gets through on Spirit Fungus. Side by side they go. Tactics gets into the lead. But heartbreak for Spirit Fungus now. I'm sure that one will see the steward's desk. But Tactics gets into the lead. Meanwhile, Spirit Fungus could get back through again. Charisma's lost out here to Dynamic Duo, who's got back into P5. Meanwhile, Wade Throne got through on Naka Kraka, but as we head on our final lap into Sector 3, can Spirit Fungus get back through head on Dobo?
Wow, I am so upset for Spirit Fungus there. That is...
Yeah,
that's so unfortunate.
The stewards will definitely have to review it, but as we round the final corner here, Tactics, who had the drive-through, has come back through again and will win.
Spirit Fungus on Dobo. Can he get
opener, but can Spirit Fungus get through? He doesn't. Meanwhile, GB gets P4. Charisma misses out on P5 by such slim margins. Meanwhile, Naka Kraka trying to catch Wed Throne Dubsy on the back of Naka Kraka, but Naka Kraka will jump to P8 surely with the penalties. Naka Kraka to P8, Dubsy finishes P10, Callum in P11, Pneumatic P12, Scotland will finish P13 with the fastest lap, and Cthulhu. And Simon says no force feedback, that was horrible, and I can imagine so.
Yeah.
But dramatic race here. We're going to try and get everyone into the party if we can. GB says he had no game sound for the final 5 to 6 laps.
Oh, that's not good. Right, I will try and get everyone in.
Yeah. And Ravage in the chat, who is also Dynamic Duo, that has said he had the same issue with GB. But Spirit Fungus gets your driver of the day, and I'd have to say he is the driver of the day.
He definitely earned that. That
but
was a great
unfortunately
drive.
lost. He lost the win there on the final lap. The stewards will
Who
have
was the
to
last one?
discuss
It
it
was
with
Spared Fungus. Oh, Dobo.
Dobo, and hopefully we will try and get everyone into the party here. And tactics, as you've come in, make sure to tick the box so that the stream can hear you.
Oh my god, man. I don't know what to say. I'm in fucking shock. Oh, my heart's going 10 to the dozen. Holy hell. I don't know what to really explain. After that drive-through, that was ridiculous on me, and I was stupid. Um, I had the pace though. GB had the better of me on the straights, but I had him in the corners, and I was like, I can get you through sector 2 and 3. And then at the end, um, I mean, I had grip, and I was like, I need to get through you guys. Charisma was the first one, I believe. Obviously his defense was fantastic. He or she's defense was amazing. Well done. Dynamic duo was a massive fun in my side, but obviously that dive into turn one, and then yeah, but that incident with spared fungus was not intentional. To me, this is my perspective. I thought I got turned in on and I've collided with his rear. I apologise for that, but I'm not a what's it called? I'm not a steward, so I'll let you guys decide that. I'm saying I don't want that revoked because that has been an incredible moment for me. Start tier 2 with that type of pace is incredible, but I'll leave it to you guys. But I'm taking it as a win.
Yep.
Oh.
And as you come in, Dobo, make sure to tick the box in the party so that the stream can hear you. And how'd that race go for you, Dobo, as well?
I mean, it was actually a pretty good race, to be fair. I stayed out of trouble for most of it and had some pretty good battles, to be fair.
Yep, very good race. I think that may be your best result with WHF,
Yeah, I think it's time.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Have you got a P2 before?
At Brazil, I think, maybe. Last season.
And unfortunately, we've been unable to get Spared Fungus in. I'll see if I can give him another invite if he wants to join.
Accordingly, GB wants to join in chat of Speaking the Devil.
How'd that race go for you? Make sure to tick the box as you come in as well.
Bit of a nightmare, really. But we'll take a minimum P4. I wouldn't be surprised if it's looking at chat reactions there. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets a podium, but it should have been a win, or at least a P2. Tactics' pace was way better than mine, but to bottle it by not fucking braking with the VSC. I took the gamble that I think Tactics did that it would end before the braking zone, and it ended about half a second after I reached it. And I think I was a tenth of a second under it. So it's my own stupid fault, but yeah, I had no pace on the hards in fairness, so I wouldn't have put it past Tactics catching me even if I didn't get a drive through. Just that setup that I had on hards, it felt like I was driving on ice. And then I lost all games down for the final 5 or 6 laps. I don't know what happened there. It disappeared. The game sound went from stream, it went from my headset, it went from the TV, it went from everything. So, no idea what that was about, but oh well. We'd take P4 minimum. It's better than it could have been.
Yep, it was a good recovery drive, despite the drive through, but regardless, it was a glitch-filled race. We started the race with a safety car, which is lovely. I don't even know why
I was fuming.
why that happens.
Yeah, that was genuinely one of the best launches I thought I'd had for a long time on this game. As the second the safety car came up, I went, "You have got to be kidding me!" But luckily, I got him on the safety car restart, but it just didn't last. We worked quite well together actually to pull away from the pack. and I was streaming myself. I was still saying like, let's not fight. Let's just get away from these guys. Then we can figure out who wants to be first and second. And it was working well. But then, yeah, like you saw, we both did a fuck up. So.
Yeah, well, unfortunate, but there is always next week, and next week we will head to Spain for round 2.
Looking forward to that.
But this week we've had Spared Fungus on the podium in P3, Dobo in P2, but it is Tactics with his first win in WHF.
For now.
So congrats. Well, we'll see what the stewards say, but regardless, it is a first win until it's not.
Yeah, I'll thingy evidence. I'm going to look through the clip personally, but I'm not going to interrupt the stewards. But I'm looking at that clip from my perspective, because I did feel like I got turned in on. But that may be my judgment in the moment, so the stewards can decide. If I get demoted, I'm taking it as a first win, but obviously it won't count in the points, so we go from there for me. So yeah.
Yep. Well, Ollie, do you have anything more to add?
Well, yeah, no matter what happens, Tactics, that was a fucking brilliant race from you, and even if you get a pen, then, you know, still, good job. And...
Honestly, I will say to end this off, if I get a pen, I've proven, even with that drive-through, I had the pace to get back up to P1 anyway, so you know what, I will take that as a high, and we'll move into Spain. Penalty or not, I don't give a damn. I'm ready, because that has been fucking awesome. First pole position, first win until it's not. You know, I'm going off of that and saying this could be huge, so we'll go from there, mate. I've got nothing to say other than that. Oh. So, yeah.
Well, we've had a great season opener here. Tactics now is your championship leader as we head next week into Spain. Also, make sure to stay tuned tomorrow for the Tier 1 opener in Austria. So make sure to drop a follow if you have enjoyed. We'll be back tomorrow for Tier 1 in Austria. And you've been joined by Ollie and me. But thank you all for watching, and goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.